Welcome back to Good Day State Line. Tim Mahoney joining us this morning. We have a new law to talk about it's in the process of maybe becoming a law in Illinois, right?
That's correct. I think it's sitting on the governor's desk right now to be signed.
Right now. I mean, it is Easter Sunday. He might not be signing it today, but Tim Mahoney, of course, from Mahoney Mahoney, you're going to tell us all about this. There's a lot going on with it.
Right. So it's a pre-judgment interest bill is what it is. And so what it does is it encourages insurance companies to make settlement offers, reasonable settlement offers before trial. In the event a case goes to trial and the person gets judgment, you always get interest after the date of judgment. This new law, which only applies to personal injury and wrongful death cases, will allow you to get interest back to the date that you actually filed the lawsuit.
Okay, so I'm not a lawyer, so give me a real-life situation of how this would occur.
Okay, so your parents are in a tragic wreck. Somebody crosses center line, hits them head-on, and they're both killed in the wreck. You file a lawsuit. The insurance company makes no offer up till the time of trial, and then at trial you get a verdict against them for whatever amount of money against the defendant. You could then get interest from the amount of that verdict back to the date that you filed the lawsuit. But let's say the insurance company had made an offer of $250,000 to settle the lawsuit, and ultimately you got a verdict of $350,000. You would only get interest on the difference between what they offered and the verdict that you got. So it encourages them to make offers.
So you said that this is a law elsewhere.
Yes. 46 states have a law similar to this. Illinois is kind of late to the game, which is kind of surprising because usually Illinois is considered a pro-plaintiff state, which just goes to show you that in some ways it's not a pro-plaintiff state, and we're late to the party on this one. But 46 other states have laws regarding, again, it's just personal injury and wrongful death cases, what we call pre-judgment interest.
Do you know what the other states are that don't have one?
I don't.
We'll have to Google it. That's where my brain goes. I'm like, 46. There's some other ones that are missing. I'll have to Google that later.
This is a really good idea, especially coming out of COVID, because a lot of insurance companies have not been making offers while the courts are shut down.
Sure.
We have not been able to set cases for trial since March 17th of 2020. I still am now just getting to the point where some cases are starting to get set for trial. If you hear about trials, it's usually criminal cases and not civil cases. Well, insurance companies, if there's no trial date, especially on a bigger case, they don't have a lot of incentive in order to make offers to try to settle cases. This law will give them incentive because even if it's not enough to resolve the case, which a lot of times, frankly, it's going to be, it still gives them incentive because if there is a verdict, they're not going to pay interest on the whole amount. They're only going to pay interest on part of it. It's a really good law and a really good idea.
And it is like a one-time payment, like 9% of just the number.
Well, but it ended up not being 9%.
Okay.
So 9%, I know this is complicated.
It's okay, I'm working on it.
9% is what you get after a judgment is entered. The original law that was passed by the House and the Senate and sent to the governor was also for 9% pre-verdict, pre-judgment to the date of filing. The governor vetoed that bill and said that he thought that that was too much interest. So then the one that's sitting on his desk now is at 6%.
Okay.
So after verdict, after judgment, you would get 9%. Before, you would get 6% on the difference between what's been offered and what the verdict actually is. And again, most of the time these cases are settled. People don't really want to go to trial. They want their cases resolved, and they'd like them resolved quickly and easily. But a lot of times that's just not how it works. This will give incentive to try to make that happen.
To make things move along a little quicker.
Yes, which after the shutdown for the last year is desperately needed because the backlog is tremendous. And you know, there's been a period of time for months where insurance company, you couldn't get a phone call returned, you couldn't get an email returned. There's a large number of cases that are waiting for trial right now.
Sure. So we don't know maybe if he's really going to sign this today. But what are we expecting? Are we expecting it to move up quickly, or what do you think?
The information that I have is that it's likely to get done at 6%, so that the governor is likely to sign it. But again, it's obviously it's up to him. He may decide that that's too high an interest rate, but my understanding is it's likely to become law.
And it has a nickname to the law, right?
Pre-verdict interest, or pre-judgment interest.
Oh, the bad face law is something they were doing before.
That's a different law that you and I also talked about. Do we want to get into that, or are we running out of time?
we don't want to. It's a holiday. holiday. I got
Sorry
one
about
law
that.
per holiday.
Fair enough. We'll save that for another time.
Yeah, thank you so much for explaining. Of course, you know so much about law. That's why we like to talk to you, and that's why somebody might need you. Maybe not today, but maybe tomorrow or the next day. Where can we find you? Where can we get in contact with you?
Mahoney'sGotYourBack.com is our website, and then our number is 815-656-4600.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for spending some time with us today.
Thank you.
Make sure your kids are ready. Coming up next on GDS, we got the coolest toys for 2021. And later, producer Danica and I are headed outside to turn eggshells into artwork. We love chatting with you as much as we can on GDS and at mystateline.com/GDS. So last week, we asked you, what's your favorite appetizer? The winner, bruschetta. Now we want to know, what's the best part of your birthday? So here's the deal. Is it cake? Is it presents? Is it the party itself? You can vote now at mystateline.com/GDS. We'll be right back.